Welcome back to the Road to Nationals. Today we're looking at my performance scale, which is Class 2. And what a week it's been with Class 2. Just the other day, I had an introductory chat with you on camera. Here's that. Say goodbye to my performance scale comp truck. This is its last moments as a truck in this form. I'm not particularly happy with it, and today we're going to make some rather big changes. Let's take a look. So this is what's left of it now. Just some straight links and an older style Delrin chassis. The skid's at a nice angle, down a little bit, but it's still amidships. As you may be aware, all the newer performance scale stuff has the skid kind of towards the front and on a more significant angle. Now, I've had three main obstacles to building this. I've got a few low center of gravity or LCG chassis on the way. I've started this week with just the cheapie because it's the one I had here, which was the one from INJORA. And my kit was actually incomplete. It was missing the 70mm middle parts. It only came with the 75mm middle parts. They're sending me the 70mm one. Couldn't get it. It's coming, but I was impatient. I wanted to build, and I also am running out of time. The actual nationals are in precisely 2 months from date of this video, and I'm filming this near the end of January. So this is what I've ended up with. A couple of videos back, I pulled the skid plate out of my Night Runner and replaced it with the Bauhaus RC LCG chassis. I used that in this because I just wanted something. So just like my last performance scale, I don't know whether it's because I have masochistic tendencies or not, but this is another bitzer, just like my last one. I had three things to show you guys on this. And the reason I'm making this before it's actually finished, because we're actually at second or third draft at this point, but I can't use this in the comp, and that'll become clear why soon. I'll show you what I've got, because I am actually happy with it where it is now, with just a couple of little issues. Now, the first thing to know is if you're building an INJORA LCG chassis for competition use in any competition that's using the wrcca rule set, it's not legal. And that is because your that's if you use it in its default configuration. I've made this legal and I'll explain why. The wheelbase, you have to divide that into thirds, and the front of your skid needs to be further back than the first third of the wheelbase. So when I first built this, using the links that it came with, the skid was closer to the front. I had shorter links and I had longer rear links, and it looked a lot meaner. But with a 330mm wheelbase, it was too close. It was inside that first 110mm, so I couldn't use it. So I've done some tweaking and moved it back, and then I've went and gotten my my links from RC 4-wheel drive Bully 2. I'm using those lovely curved lower links, and I'm using some Samix bent lower links as the upper links. I got it to work, and now I'm 2.5mm further back than I need to be with this skid, but for that part of the project, it was good. The next challenge I faced, this is the DLUX Fabrications Ham Berger transmission. This is the front, that's the back. That's because it gives you an overdriven option and a same speed as the rear. I flipped it because I wanted that motor weight in the front, but also because I decided to put a portal axle. This is a TRX4 axle. It's been sitting in my drawer for several years now. It's new out of a TRX4. I never used it until now, and I've stuck it in. And of course that means you need to reverse the rotation. They're going the same direction now, but the Ham Berger transmission gives you overdrive out the front so that you get a nice front speed. Because I'm using portals, you can still see the big difference here, right? It's nearly 50% faster in the front, which is the Capra from the other week all over again. I was hoping to use this guy to speed up the rear, but its rotation is wrong, and I can't flip this easily because of all the plastic moldings. But what I wanted to show you before I pull this all apart and start again was something I was really proud of. I put lockers in the rear so that I can unlock. I've got a little servo here. I made my own mechanism that comes up from the TRX4 bit. It's got the cable, goes around. I've got a 3D printed holder I made for it, and the whole thing, I don't know if you can see that, the cable moves here. It moves with the suspension. I went and got different springs for the axial springs. Everything just moves beautifully. Because I had the wide front, I also put the front springs inboard, and everything, all the geometry here is perfect. It's so good. This thing is a machine, and I'm going to show you how it crawls. I was just looking at the rules and I noticed one little rule that just ruined my day, and that's why I'm making this video now and not in a few more days when I had this finished. I've just been mounting the body and getting it set. There's the rear mount for it. It said the receiver can only have 2 active channels, so throttle, steering, that's it. I need a 3rd channel to lock and unlock this rear using this servo, and it works really well. With that in mind, I'm gonna pull this thing apart, see if I can get the motor on the front and have the transmission flipped. I'm pretty sure I can do that. I'm not going to be able to use portals on the rear because I haven't got a compatible set of gearing for the axles. I'm going to have to work something else out. I do have the skid coming for this thing, and I've got the 70mm bag coming, so I'm thinking I might just have to wait till that stuff gets here. This is the last time this is going to be in this state as it is right now. It is too much overdriven in the front, but it's delightful to drive. Let me show you what I mean. Okay, this is just going to be a short video because this should make pretty short work of my course. I've got lock and unlock here just on my thumb. Here's problem 1, and we're unlocked currently. Just like with the Capra video I made the other week for the tough truck thing that I'm building, the underdrive is it's too much underdrive, too slow in the rear. I've got the rear unlocked because that helps compensate. It's got a beautiful speed in the front, and you see how that rear lets me come around and the underdrive doesn't work against us. I'll tell you whenever I lock on this, which is about to be, oh, maybe not. I've just found a real advantage to keeping that rear unlocked a lot of the time. It's just a really smooth drive, and you can still see the LCG chassis working here. Look at all the clearance I've got. Usually when an RTR gets to this point, the test is over, I've got to kind of roll back and start again, start a new attempt. What I've found is having an unlocked rear, this is problem 2. What I've found is just having that unlocked rear gives me, it kind of makes up for it. You can see it getting dragged along there. I'll lock it occasionally, but it's a beautiful, smooth system like this. I'm just so happy with all of what I've done here. So I want to lock it at this point. You I saw it engage there. Come on. There we go. Then I'm going to unlock it again because I don't need it locked. Make sure we keep the camera on. Loving the trenches too, by the way. These are really nice. And it'll just pull around. Again, the unlocked rear axle really helps this thing slide. But I can't have temporarily unlockable axle. And into problem 3. So I was really proud of what I'd made. I did say it's a bitser, that just means a parts bin job. It's made of bits of everything. It's got a 40 turn Holmes Pro brushed motor, the WP 1080 you can see there. Just a cheap little Fly Sky 3 channel on the rear to go with my GT5 radio. Just going to lock that rear again. I wasn't actually being all that careful with my line choice. We should be able to get out of this. Just going to unlock and see if that helps. I think if we fall over further, you couldn't usually do this with a car, but I reckon this car might just pull it off. Yeah, because we've got the clearance. So the low center of gravity chassis from INJORA works really well. I'm thinking we're going to need to make it more narrow. I'm going to need to outboard my shocks. I've got to rebuild this whole thing, but so far you can see just how smooth it is. It's just a delightful thing to drive. On to problem 4. Now so this video is really just a progress report, I guess, to show you what I'm up to. And I also wanted to show this car off before I pull it apart, because I can't compete with it in this current form where I can engage and disengage that rear locker. I'm just really happy with what I've made here. It's just a beautifully capable crawler. And just for mucking around outside of competition rules, I probably would keep it this way. I'll just, I've put overdrive gears in the rear diff already to try and speed it up a bit. I guess the transmission needs a bit of solving. The fact that I can do this problem here slowly, we've already got the skid over the top. Usually trucks get stuck here. It's just a beautiful car to drive. I'm just going to try locking the rear. Probably needed a bit more speed, honestly. Maybe not. There we go. Just unlock the rear again. Where it's actually pivoting is the aluminium plate on which the electronics are seated. That's okay though, because I'm hoping just to get it around just enough to yank it up. One nice thing about this drivetrain, so I also bought the INJORA steel shafts, is everything about this is superbly strong. Come on. We're a bit stuck here. I think we might try this again. So actually really happy with this rig so far. It's a shame because it works really well. It is too overgrown. I think we can get it right. Actually, we'll see. I think it's you have to do that. Love the home servo. Just got to get over a little bit more, and we're going to just try and pop it across. And it's capable. Most cars would have fallen off here, but we just don't quite have the clearance. Let's just try another line here. There we go. There we go. No, come on. Off you go. There we go. I think the secret with this big difference in speed is to actually keep that rear unlocked most of the time, because it allows that little bit of wheel slip to compensate for the difference in speed. If you're interested in the INJORA LCG chassis, one thing I'm noticing here is that the aluminium side steps are getting caught up on rock quite a lot. So that's the front of these guys here. They're I'll show you. They're already digging into the rock quite a bit. So what I think I might need to do is flip them and swap them. It gets the center of gravity up a bit, but it'll get them out of the way of rock more easily. We'll just try this transition again. We might just need to stay a bit higher. Yeah. Come on. Gee, it's unbelievably tough. That was quite abusive to this poor transmission, or the poor drivetrain rather. Ah, didn't mean to go that far. Alright, maybe we can't do problem 4. It's alright. This doesn't need to do everything. This is the first time I've actually used it. Oh, that Holmes servo is so warm. Motor's warm. Shifting servo's alright. Let's just adjust this end point a bit. Okay, problem 5. Couldn't do 4, didn't have the clearance. Oh, we're locked. I didn't actually mean to be locked. So in this current configuration, I think keeping it unlocked in the rear most of the time seems to be a good answer. Not that it really matters, because this is its one and only drive. It's coming apart after this. I'm pretty happy with it, but I've got to lose this third channel, unfortunately. What a bummer. And problem 6. So problem 4 we couldn't do because of clearance. I'm going to have to think about this. I'm going to lock that rear. It's just too slow in the rear. We're actually caught on the rear diff right now. Gosh, it's a strong servo, isn't it? This is actually my oldest SHV 500 from Holmes. It's 4 years old at this point. It's running directly off the 12-volt battery. Beautiful and strong. Come on, get off that rock. There we go. Just going to unlock and hope it doesn't fall. I realise there's no body on here, but once I realised just before that that I've set it up wrong with this third channel, I stopped what I was doing. There's no point in mounting the body if I haven't got the axles and geometry finished. Come on. Gee, it didn't make that look easy, did it? There we go. There we go. I thought for sure we'd have that. Okay, well, it can do it. So I'm happy with it. I just need to lose this third channel. It's such a shame, but anyway, say goodbye. This was a lovely little custom fun build, but this shakedown run did show me also that these things get in the way. So if I swap their sides and flip them over, it'll get things a bit higher. Maybe I can mount the battery on the front instead, so the weight doesn't matter so much. Not that these things weigh very much. It's a 700 milliamp hour 3S. Servo's gonna have to go, that entire third channel's gotta go. And I'm thinking also, clearance isn't such a huge issue, so I suppose I might just flip the transmission, see if I can reconfigure it so that the motor is still front, but these two outputs are to the front as well, because then I can still have an overdriven front. And I'll just put the mate of this axle in the back, and then we'll have our standard Ham Berger overdrive, whatever it is. And it should be a fairly capable machine. I'm going to wait for the 70mm bag to arrive and the skid. Both of those things didn't turn up with my last order, so INJORA tells me they're coming. But for my experiment with the INJORA LCG chassis, which is in the description, I'm pretty happy with it. You've just seen how well it drives. We're using the Trenches 4.75 in Predator compound. They are 110 gram alloy wheels. It would be better to use lightweight plastic or carbon fiber beadlock wheels, which I probably will fit, but again, this was just for a shakedown. So this is a hint of what's to come. I have 2 months and the clock is ticking until Nationals. We're gonna have another local comp, which I'm gonna try and get some filming done for you guys this time. That's coming hopefully at the start of March. And in the meantime, I'm just gonna keep chipping away. I've got a few things to do. Capra UTB-18's just arrived too, so stay tuned for that, because I'm hoping that might actually help reignite the mini class. I'll put the mini against the Capra down here too, and we'll check that out. We've got a bit more to do on the Sportsman, which I'll show you all about on this course in the near future. I have a bunch of other stuff coming, as you will have seen recently, but the focus right now is on comps because we've got the Nats coming at the end of March. Thanks for watching, throw me a like, and I guess I'll talk to you again real soon with the next iteration of my performance scale rig, plus whatever else we get up to, because I've got to have 6 cars ready. Talk to you guys soon. Cheers.